Hi everyone, my name is Saket and this is the new episode of the Design Podcast. Today's video is gonna be extremely special and important for you guys because most of you give design exams, and at the end of design exams, even if you are selected or not selected, you will think about what exactly went behind selection of all these candidates. After spending so many years, me and my classmates sometimes discuss कि हमारा selection हुआ क्यों था? What were the reasons? What were the qualities they looked for? And with that thought process, I thought of interviewing someone who has been an integral part of selection process at NID. He has been doing this for past decade or more than that probably. I'm talking about Mr. Vipul Vinzuda. He is the coordinator at NID for transportation and automobile design. He has taught me and he was the coordinator during my time as well. In recent time when I had a chance to visit Gandhinagar, we thought of sitting together and talk very candidly about what are the things they look for, what happens exactly in the selection process, what are the positives and negatives happening with the current generation of students, and what are the things you should keep in mind to become an excellent successful designer in your own careers. Today's video is extremely valuable. There are so many nuggets of wisdom hidden in this podcast, so I definitely recommend you guys to watch till the end and very carefully make some notes because some of the things I really feel can help you grow exponentially in your careers. Also, before starting the video, I want to sincerely thank the sponsors of this video, XPPen, especially in this time when you guys are starting your own design journeys, you are taking admission into design colleges. I think it's extremely important to have graphic tablets. It provides a lot of flexibility and convenience for your own design work, and definitely you should check their products. More about XPPen coming ahead in the video, but before that, let's begin the podcast. Hi Vipul. First of all, thank you for doing this. We have been planning this for almost 2 years now, and I'm very happy that finally we are able to sit here. You have taken out time for all this, for all the students here. So I want to say thank you. And this is a very rare opportunity where you kind of get a chance to interact with the coordinator of the transportation design discipline, and there are many students who are preparing for NID, IIT, and so many things. So I want to take this opportunity to ask you several questions related to that. For those who don't know, Vipul Vinzuda, he was my coordinator during my time when I was in college, and he's heading the transportation design department at NID Gandhinagar, and he has a lot of experience in the academic field, and it's such a privilege to interact with him. He has taught me in my college days, and it's such an honor to sit face to face and talk about all these things. So thank you again for doing this.
My pleasure, Saket, and thank you very much, I think, for inviting me here to share my thoughts and experience. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So we have very limited amount of time, so let's just dive straight into the questions.
Right.
So please tell us what is this field of automotive design, and to be very specific, transportation and automobile design, and what all things come under this.
Right. So, Saket, I think automotive design is now quite a popular field of choice. Many students are actually pursuing their career in this particular area. It's been almost, I would say, more than a 1.5 decade that since automotive design became mainstream. In fact, NID was the first one to start this particular program of transportation and automobile design discipline at post-graduation level in year 2006. So almost 18 years by now. And as a profession or a career in automobile design is absolutely challenging, but at the same time very much rewarding as well, because you actually get to see some of your dream ideas, sketches getting shaped into reality, which finally people will use, enjoy, and cherish as their driving experience, for example. Converting some of your sketches and ideas into model, then giving a shape into reality, that absolutely gives you a good career opportunity to become exterior and interior designer as a professional. That is the role, or that is the identity you get in this society, I think. And it's very much exciting field because not just as an individual but as a team member, you become a part of a unit where you get to design this set of entire vehicle. Whether you join car design studio or bike design studio, you get wholesome experience of whole day basically visualizing and understanding how the entire domain is shaping up and converting some of your ideas and thoughts into reality. Also, I think not just looking at the styling aspect, because that is a general perception student or every one of us we have when we talk about some of this lucrative design field, be it fashion design or automotive design. I think immediately the fascination strikes to you that you get to design a cool car or you get to design a cool fashionable garment. But at the same time, as a designer, you get a chance to design some of the functionality or utility aspect as well, designing details, designing some of those element within interior. So it's a huge opportunity. The main opportunity is that you get to convert your imagination into reality, and definitely I think it calls for a lot of skill expertise. You also can not just become good with visualizing and sketching your ideas, but you uh, convert your ideas into digital or physical sculpting. So those kind of also kind of opportunity you get and role you play within the studio. So whether it's doing car styling, whether it's about designing bike or designing commercial vehicle, designing public transportation, or doing interior design as well, or contributing to overall interior by designing color, material, finish. It's a huge area. Basically, you get to convert your vision and ideas into reality. Also, you get a chance to collaborate with various people as a designer. I think that's quite a worthy experience. I'm sure with your own experience, you will acknowledge that you work with a lot of people from technical background, from managerial background. So it definitely offers a lot of worthy, unique career opportunity, I would say.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because as you said, most of the students have this perception if they are entering into automobile design or transportation design, बस cars करेंगे या motorcycles करेंगे. There is no awareness about other fields, like as you talk about public transportation, CMF design, or there are a lot of public transportation related interior design, seat design, that kind of thing. Personal mobility is also becoming a field in itself, and system design is also there. So thank you for elaborating that question. This is one of the most frequently asked questions by students and their parents, especially. They ask that are there enough jobs in this field of design and in this field of transportation design? What do you think about that?
I think that question also we do face as faculty, and we do experience from parents and from also young students who, budding students who write an email and want to understand what are the career opportunity, because finally when you study, you really want to make sure that that helps you to earn good livelihood, good position in society. And yes, transportation design or automotive design is very unique field, niche field. It has very specific and limited number of opportunity. But nevertheless, I think when you dream of working on large OEMs, the automotive companies, there are limited opportunities. But at the same time, I think once you develop yourself into be a really good designer who has good skill set, who has good knowledge and understanding, the scope is immense. I think it can really open up new opportunity for your career and for your life, which you wouldn't have imagined otherwise, which life can offer you. Because generally in our Indian cultural society, mostly engineering and medical field, the desired field actually from parents, and they find that that particular field will give you good sort of satisfaction, good sort of livelihood, good income, and good social status. But nevertheless, I think slowly and steadily for last several years, design as a profession has found its own footing. And being automotive designer or transportation designer will open up more opportunities. Looking at the current scenario, especially if we talk about transportation design, there is a huge electric vehicle wave which is going on around in the country. Government is making certain policies. There is a lot of buzz. There are a lot of new startup companies which have come up. One can really become part of that wave and can really make a long-term career and fortune out of it. So I would say for talented designer who is really working hard in developing their skills, coming up with unique ideas, the opportunities are immense. You really have to identify that core after your study.
Okay. I completely agree with that because with this EV startup, definitely the job opportunities and scope of getting new kind of tasks for the designers, I think it has gone up exponentially. Uh, Now that you talked about what are the scopes and opportunities in this field, uh, tell us what kind of qualities are required when you come to transportation design. Like when I'm pretty sure you have been seeing so many batches of students. So tell us very in a generic way what kind of qualities are there which make students succeed in their long careers.
Yeah, I think very important question, and I would suggest that it's very important that one has to be very good, very good with basic concepts. I would say whatever background they come from, whether it's a post graduation or undergraduation, you would have studied either science, commerce, or arts, or you would have done engineering or other field. For example, if you are coming for post graduation course, it's very important for a student while joining this particular program to be very much clear with the basic concepts on design or the previous background as well. If they've done engineering, if they've done architecture, it's very important to be very much clear conceptually on whatever they know about their own domain, because there might be a situation where those background will come very handy when they design exterior, when they design interior, when they design for particular brief. It will become very helpful. But at the same time, the kind of quality which one seek in an ideal design student is having good sort of awareness of their own domain, having good amount of knowledge, having their own skill sets, just they believe in their own skills, be it demonstrating ideas through visual format or hands-on format. I think it's very important to demonstrate your own talent, using some of the skill set and curiosity. I think that is something which I really find it to be very important. Many of the time, I think kids are curious, as we say. Designers have to be curious throughout their life. So I feel that's one important thing uh, one looks up to when you want to become a designer. So I think, and also wanting to learn. It's in design is a profession where you have to develop multiple skill set and you have to update with time. There are new tools, new softwares, new medium comes up. How you can do it more efficiently, how you can do it with more variety, how you can iterate well. So it's very important to have that willingness to learn and having some sort of absorption, that you really want to absorb new knowledge and new skills. So that openness is very important. At the same time, some sort of positive attitude, I think, being optimistic and being responsible, having some sort of self-initiative that which doesn't require a push from parents or teachers, but some. I think it's very important to have that sort of character or attitude. I would say in today's time, having good amount of clarity of thoughts, what they want to do, being able to convey their idea very clearly, verbally. So articulation is very important. आर्टिकुलेशन का मतलब नहीं कि आपका इंग्लिश अच्छा होना चाहिए, आप हिंदी में भी अच्छे से अपने आइडियाज या थॉट्स को एक्सप्रेस कर पा रहे हो, वो बहुत जरूरी है आई थिंक डिजाइन के अंदर।
बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स मुझे ये पूछते हैं कि अगर मुझे एनआईडी जाना है तो इंग्लिश सीखना जरूरी है क्या? सो कैन यू एड्रेस दैट?
I would say it's not it's a language, it's a language. It helps you express your thoughts, emotions, definitely. English mandatory नहीं है, अपने आप को अच्छे से बयां करना है, फिर एक्सप्लेन करना, एक्सप्रेस करना अपने आइडियाज को, थॉट्स को, जो समझ आ पाए सामने वाले को दूसरी भाषा में, वो भी काफी एक्सेप्टेबल है सर. सो इट्स नॉट अ वेरी क्रूशियल आई वुड से. और एक चीज आई थिंक जो जनरल मान्यता है कि पोर्टफोलियो बहुत जरूरी है, बट वो पोर्टफोलियो एक ऐसी चीज है, पोर्टफोलियो आपका एक एविडेंस या फिर जेन्युइन एफर्ट दिखाता है. इट्स नॉट, पोर्टफोलियो डजंट मीन दैट देयर इज अ सेट गाइडलाइन और सेट फॉर्मेट में आपको बना के देना है, देयर इज अ टेम्पलेट व्हिच यू हैव टू फॉलो. देयर इज नो रूल और गाइडलाइन फॉर पोर्टफोलियो एज सच. यू जस्ट हैव टू कलेक्ट व्हाटएवर एविडेंसेस यू हैव एंड ब्रिंग इट इन प्रेजेंटेबल फॉर्मेट. वो काफी इनफ है एक इंस्टीट्यूट को असेस करने के लिए कि आप कितना अच्छा डिजाइनर बन सकते हो, आप में पोटेंशियल है या क्या पॉसिबिलिटी है आपके साथ. और मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंटली जो हम आई थिंक जानते हैं डिजाइनिंग के अंदर, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, स्पेशली ट्रांसक्रिप्शन डिजाइन. आई थिंक यू बीइंग ऑटोमोबाइल डिजाइनर यू विल अगेन विल फील सिमिलरिटी दैट एक पैशन होना फील्ड को लेके और पेशेंस होना साथ में, क्योंकि सिर्फ पैशन अकेला इनफ नहीं है. यू ऑल्सो नीड टू हैव लॉट अमाउंट ऑफ पेशेंस बिकॉज इट टेक्स टाइम. And there are a lot of up and down. You have to work with group. There will be a lot of setback. There will be a lot of back and forth. तो पैशनेट होना और पेशेंस रखना दोनों इक्वल इम्पोर्टेंट है और आपका सस्टेन इंटरेस्ट बना रहे डिजाइन के अंदर वो काफी जरूरी है वैसे.
True, true. Wow, that was an articulated explanation about who should consider doing automobile design and what are the qualities required. Thank you for saying all that. Sorry to break the flow. Let's talk more about the sponsors of today's video. I'm talking about XP Pen graphic tablets. When I decided to purchase XP Pen, I definitely checked multiple other competitions and XP Pen was matching to my budget and also it was providing a lot of features, lot of value and promising performance. For past 7-8 years, I'm using the same graphic tablet which is 21 inches. I have been using it extensively for all my personal projects, for sketching, for doodling, everything. And I have been extremely happy with the performance and the quality it provides. And as a student, XP Pen is one of the valid options you should definitely check. I have given their link in the description. You can also use this code XPSAKET to get an additional discount and you should definitely consider buying an XP tablet. It's highly recommended, at least from my side. Let's go back to the podcast. You have seen multiple generations of students, batches, if I want to correct it. So, like, I graduated in 2014 and it's almost like a decade back. So, you have seen, so many generation of students. Now, I want to ask you this very interesting question that throughout these years, what are the good and bad things about the current generation of students? Because people who are watching this podcast, I'm guessing they are mostly the current generation of students. So, what are your observations? What are the good things and bad things about them?
Right. So, Saket, I would like to take you back to from where it all began, because 2006 when we started this discipline, I was also very young back in the day, and in fact by then I just finished my engineering. I was from engineering background, worked in industry for a few years in designing few products, and then I joined the faculty program in NID, and then I joined the transportation design program when it started in 2006. So back in the day, in fact, the student group were so much highly enthusiastic, motivated, and curious, and super passionate, supremely energetic. In spite of lack of resources, I would say, because it was very new program, so we had very minimal or almost no resources. We were not having also full-time skilled expertise within our own pool of experts. So we used to also rely a lot on industry professional to come and provide some sort of inputs on the initial period. And but the beauty was that back in the day, especially in 2006 era, when there was no resources, no expertise, the curiosity was a lot. There was immense curiosity. There was immense passion to make a point and prove a point that Indian design or Indian designers can design vehicles, can design automotive. I think otherwise, mostly people who were very passionate who want to study automotive design, they were compelled to go abroad and get their degree or get that exposure, because we were not having much of automotive culture back in those period, and there was mostly students used to do product design because it's a broader umbrella, and then they used to go and pursue their interest in automotive design, develop separate skill set, because automotive design requires separate skill set and separate attitude and mindset altogether. Right. So coming back to the point, that I think in the initial batches, that rigor or that sort of flavor was there, and that in fact was very well, I would say, pushed up by some of the international design competitions. So in 2006 we had a competition called Free Art International Design Competition, Design Italiana Way, and the student really, product design and transportation students, they work together with good synergy and produce commendable work with minimal resources and with minimal input. And when the student won those awards, that really gave more energy, and I think it just passed on to every batches. So with every successive batches, I have seen that drive in Indian boys and girls to design good vehicles which are internationally, appealing, is only increasing with every passing batch. The only recent time which I'm seeing right now in the current generation is that there is big shift in the present generation. Definitely, we know that we are entering in an era where we are getting students from millennial, like 2000 past born. The positive thing or something which I like about them is they are very bold, they are very confident, they are very much aware, more aware, they are very tech pro, and they use a lot of gadgets, very fast learner. They are privileged. I see that they are privileged, but they are also globally connected, which was a big challenge in the earlier time. And I feel that there is value for required to have some sort of push. There is some sort of value which we need to inculcate in this new generation so that they get a classic process of design. They start appreciating the basic tool of doing basic brainstorming or basic ideation or thinking on a pen and paper method. So many of the time, even in a classroom setup, I push them or make it compulsory to them to use post-it, pen and paper and write things, do a chart, sit on a table and do it rather than doing it virtually or doing it on a digital board where you can't see entire picture. So it's very important for a designer to see a big picture, micro and macro picture, and interact with real people. Like go out and explore people, talk to people. I think in the era of social media, we are so much connected with a lot of people digitally, but many of the time we will not know the requirement which our neighbor or which somebody who is driving push cart just near in our community. So those things we push. So that's basically the our approach and the positive aspect about the generation. But in terms of negative aspect, I feel that if I wonder, sometimes it bothers me that some sort of timeliness, inconsistency. Sometimes they're supremely great, supremely productive at one fine day, and on one fine day they may not have moved and the work will completely go for toss. Too much of social media. Social media has its own positive, but there is also some negative aspect of it. People do seek a lot of shortcuts, I think, today's generation, which is its own advantage. You can do it in a short span of time, but at the cost of losing out rigor. So I feel that that definitely needs some sort of attention. And I think in the era of all this current generation, I feel that the team work is as a culture needs to be developed because every individual wants to be a next role model or a like really like make the specific cut for within their own professional domain. But I feel that it's very important that they start valuing the beauty of teamwork as a culture.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that because so 2011 I entered NID and I can second what you said that the resources were very limited. Literally, that process of uh, finding some sketch which is not very high res and pixelated, then sitting with the team and then figuring out how that person would have sketched. I think Nirmit also was talking about the same thing. So resources were limited, but then that rigor and desperation and probably the passion is a better word, so that was so high that we used to go beyond our comfort zones to pursue this field. And also back in my generation also and my previous generation of students, most of them have sacrificed their well-paying jobs and things like that just because they felt really passionate about this field of design. And
in fact, Saket, I would like to acknowledge that during that particular time, the PR design competition, I'll come back again to that point, that those particular group of students really motivated me also indirectly, which pushed me to pursue my own masters. Because then I went to Coventry, did my masters in transportation design, and after a few years I came back. So then I just continued. Then I felt that okay, fine, academic is my calling, and maybe while working with students, you learn a lot. Their positive energy, their youthful, passion, that really push you and gives you hope that there is something greater possibility for the country and for the world that we can create, through transportation.
True, and what you said about social media, I think I can also agree with that because yesterday only we were discussing that back in the time, number of students were less, but we used to see a lot of people outside. So whenever we get out of the hostel or the academic block, every time we will see, so many students around us. Now I think the number of students have gone up.
They've gone up, yeah.
But outside, if you go, it all looks empty. Maybe AC studios are there. Nobody wants to get out of the studio.
I think after pandemic, a lot of student or new generation have started preferring to work in their own time on their own resources like laptop, tablet, and they prefer to work. Many of them, I'm not generalizing for everyone, but like many people, they prefer to work in the hostel room and
in their own space, basically. Yeah. Is it good or is it bad? What do you feel?
It has its own positive and negative. I definitely feel that the positive part is that they are engaged constantly. Okay. They are constantly there. Like whole day they might be reading news. They might be getting update on what's going on. They might be also getting entertained themselves while sitting and also working on a parallel project while they are digitally connected. So there are positives to it. The only negative I feel is that we are missing out on working on a team project, on spending time, because design is all about studio environment. When you work in a studio environment with like-minded people, with your peer group, you critique, you help each other. You see someone really, upping their game on skill set, and you that pushes you to take your skill set or understanding to next level. And I think it's very important in general to go out and spend time in nature, in fact, within campus or outside. Yeah. So I feel uh, digital interaction or social media is fine, it's good, there are positives to it, but also it's important to spend some time with people in the studio space, in nature, and with real people on for whom you are designing actually, they are your user. So it's important that you connect with them.
Interesting, interesting. So now that transportation design, back in the time again, there were only few areas where we could, see jobs and all. But I think now it has become like a huge umbrella.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you this: which are the less spoken or less known opportunities under transportation design?
Right. Yeah, very, very good question, I think, because generally, as I told you, that people just start that it's all about car styling. It's not only car styling. And I've seen people many of the time who came as a student with passion to become a car designer and over the course of time became motorcycle designer or found interest in or they're calling in becoming CMF designer, like color material finish designer. So when we talk about color material finish design, it's a huge area actually. And traditionally, I've seen a lot of people from non-transportation design discipline like textile, apparel design, or accessory design getting into that area and demonstrating their capability of working with material, having that finesse and sensitivity to have neck for choosing the right color combination and choosing the appropriate finish and texture. So those kind of career opportunities are also there, I think. And they are very unique, very niche, but very meaningful opportunity. One can also become good clay sculptor or a digital sculptor if you are good with your digital skills, if you're good with your hands-on skill. Because automotive is also sculpting a new form. So I think those opportunities are also there. Apart from that, I think designing automotive component, automotive product, because a huge industry who supplies component to automobile manufacturing, setup. So designing those components are also crucial part. Maybe your bicycle seat design, maybe your the handle textures or pedal design or seating. There are a lot of opportunities in designing component level, which is untapped opportunity right now in India and overall. I feel accessory design is a big market. Vehicle accessory design needs a lot of designer to take that up the specialist role. Custom design, I think custom biking is quite popular. A lot of people they design custom motorcycle, be it around on the platform of RE or other motorcycle, but there is huge opportunity on customizing bike and customizing other vehicle as well. I think non-motorized transport. I think human-powered vehicles are slowly getting obsolete in Indian context or many other countries, but I think still it has huge potential to be brought back for the new age. Right now in our urban landscape,
Health conscious population.
health conscious population. At the same time, some population for whom they earn their bread and butter through driving this non-motorized transport. So a lot of those vehicle, one can design. Rural mobility, I think rural market has a tremendous opportunity to design farming related, solutions. Not just limiting to designing tractor or certain vehicle, but huge potential there. And also focusing on certain kind of age group, maybe designing vehicles for kids, designing vehicle for elders. If you just look at those as an area, there also immense opportunity. I think what are the vehicles which we have in India which are meant for elders? Hardly few. Whereas in, of course, infrastructure is also our challenge. We don't have proper paved road, safe road where elders of certain age can drive and go out to temple or do some bit of a shopping on their own. They have to depend, for example, and I feel that there are good opportunities and one can really make huge architecture around that.
Okay, so very well said. So many things to explore under transportation design. Now we talked about current generation of students, the what are the fields are there in transportation design. So tell me, how are the current expectations from the industry?
Correct. Yeah, I think industry, we work very closely with automotive industry and industry in general. We collaborate with them. We understand the requirement. Students go for internship. They do their graduation project. The industry professional, they come and offer workshop and interact with our student to make them realize what are the contemporary requirement and what are the new age challenges. So I think I would say definitely industry always look up to somebody who is very talented and skilled designer. Uh, at the same time, having good attitude and good team work spirit, those things they definitely look at. They also seek some sort of brand and industry awareness, that how much an individual is aware of. If somebody wants to become a motorcycle designer or car designer, they should know ideally, all over what's going on, what is the history of that particular segment of those particular brand, what are the values of those brand. So that is being expected. But at the same time, I feel that in the recent time there are a lot of challenges which overall design industry is also experiencing because of the way AI has come into the picture. Right now, with the way ChatGPT or some of those AI tool like Viscom and other thing has come into the market. I think definitely industry is looking for genuine original thinker and original designer. So my urge or thought is that maybe new age generation has a challenge or maybe responsibility to ensure that definitely tools are there, software tools or application and some of this AI, they are going to be coming, they are all going to become more smarter and advanced. But one should not like lose out in that competition. For example, competition against the digital renders or digital visualization which possibly Viscom can prepare for you. One really have to come up with a genuine ideas and solution so that you can remain original. I think that is what will make you more employable or more appealing as a designer in professional world, I would say. So I think in due course maybe industry will expect a student to be harnessing the use of AI and software, but remain original and exploratory. I believe those skills will be expected.
Wow, awesome. Now that we have almost talked about so many various different things, and there were so many valuable advices which you have already given to students. Coming to the final question, is there any other advice, just a concluding note probably, if you want to give it to students, if you want to share with designers like us also, anything if you want to share with us?
So Saket, I think it's been almost, I would say, close to 18, 19 years, and with the discipline itself, I've been there since beginning. So I think what I feel is that this particular field, transportation automobile design field, whatever I've learned from my own, I've learned a lot from my own student, learned a lot from industry, from my other senior colleagues and faculty here. And I feel that this particular field, you initially get attracted, almost infatuation actually, because of the glamour and because of your own childhood dream. But it calls for a lot of tenacity. You really need to do a lot of hard work and you need to be persistent, like never give up sort of an attitude. So we need people like those, who can break conventions, students who question those things, that why car is three box, it's been 100 years now. Why not this? Why not that? I think we definitely need a generation who asks right question and also gives a solution and answer for that. So that is important because there is general perception, that it's only for boys if you just want to choose this particular profession. But there are many female designers who have made their mark in industry. I think we all know Ram Kripa and many other female designers working in international studio globally in scenic design or interior design or exterior, making their name. So I feel that somehow generally in this particular industry, even that's a feedback from industry as well, automotive industry, that we get very few female designers coming in. So of course they are coming in less in industry because they are coming into design education less. So I feel that that particular stereotype or association that it's a male dominated area, one should go away. It's a powerful machine, car. I think those kind of associations should go away in my view. I feel that this country definitely needs more female representation. This particular industry needs female representation and also representation from across the various regions of the country, from northeast to southernmost to central to the rural area. I think anyone or everyone can pursue this field of automotive design. I'm sure with your own experience and knowing many batchmates, you might also agree that they will bring different flavor to this industry and new direction to the industry. And this course is for everyone, whoever is having dream of making those moving objects, and we have to break away from those conventions that when there is a boy, you gift a Hot Wheel and you play with that, and you give a Barbie doll to girl. I think we have moved away. I think the present generation definitely have moved quite away from that particular place, and times are changing now. I think industry and this domain do need a lot of creative female designers. Other example, I would say they generally say that when you buy your first vehicle, you buy based on exterior, but when you buy your second vehicle, you give a due consideration to interior and many other elements. Now, interior design, I think if we look at our own family system or every family, a lot of decision making happens also with partner and other family member. We definitely consider their view. Their sensibilities are different. Their sensibility towards looking at interior detail for utility, for aesthetic is different. So it's important that we have a lot of female designer also in this particular area, I feel. And the last point I would say as an advice is that I think automotive design involves a lot of technicalities. So one might have a fear that, oh, I have to learn a lot of automobile engineering. I have to have technical understanding. Yes, you may need to. If you don't have, you have to develop that. You need to know what is aerodynamic, what are the basics, like overall technical terminologies, for example, how the entire vehicle works, propulsion system, suspension system, basic stuff you need to know. But one should not get scared by thinking that it's a very highly technical subject and it's not cut out for me. Even students from non-technical background, they sign up for this course from arts background and they cultivate, they learn technical subject and cope up with that. The bottom line is that you really have to be very keen, passionate, and should be willing to learn new things, I would say.
Wow, very nice set of advices. Thank you, Vipul, once again. This podcast is going to provide a lot of value and clarity to the students who are watching. So, again, fully grateful that you agreed to do this.
My pleasure and my best wishes to you and to podcast and to everyone listening us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.